Number 7. Mossad. These Israeli spies once kidnapped a Nazi war criminal, drugged him unconscious, and smuggled him out of Argentina disguised as a drunk airline passenger. And that's just a regular Tuesday for them. Think about this. It's 1960 and Adolf Eichmann, one of Hitler's top guys who helped organize the Holocaust, is living peacefully in Buenos Aires, thinking he's safe. But minutes later, Mossad agents grab him off the street, drug him unconscious, and put him in an Israeli airline uniform, and wheel him onto a plane like he's a sick crew member. By the time the guy wakes up, he's in an Israeli prison cell wondering what the hell just happened. The intelligence agency also created the world's first computer virus that could actually destroy real-world machinery. Their Stuxnet virus didn't just hack computers. It made Iranian nuclear centrifuges literally spin themselves to death until they exploded. But they've not had an all-sparkling legacy. In 1973, they assassinated a completely innocent Moroccan waiter in Norway because they thought he was a Palestinian terrorist. When the world found out they'd murdered the wrong person, it was so embarrassing that half their European operations got shut down. If you think kidnapping Nazis and creating killer computer viruses is intense, wait until you hear about the Hermit Kingdom's spies who hacked Hollywood and nearly stole $1 billion, if not for a single typo. Number 6. The North Korean Reconnaissance General Bureau, or the NRBG. The NRBG got so mad at a Seth Rogen comedy movie that they launched a cyber attack costing Sony Pictures $100 million and nearly started an international incident. Yes, you heard that right. North Korea's elite spies declared war on Hollywood over The Interview. In 2014, spies from this intelligence agency leaked every embarrassing email, salary, and private conversation from Hollywood executives. We're talking about confidential movie scripts, celebrity phone numbers, and evidence of movie executives trash-talking their own actors. The hack was so devastating that President Obama had to issue America's first ever cyber sanctions against another country. But that Sony hack was just practice for their real masterpiece. In 2016, North Korean cyber thieves nearly stole $1 billion from Bangladesh's central bank. They actually succeeded in taking $81 million before being stopped by a single spelling mistake in their transfer request. Wow. One typo saved the world from the biggest bank heist in history. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. They murdered Kim Jong-un's own half-brother at Malaysia's busiest airport using deadly poison. But the twisted genius part? They tricked 2 women into doing their dirty work by telling them they were filming a prank TV show. These women thought they were just smearing lotion on a random guy's face for a funny video. They had no idea they were actually spreading deadly poison and committing murder. The NRGB also runs Room 39, a secret money-making operation that generates $2 billion annually through counterfeiting perfect US dollars, manufacturing illegal drugs, and running global cybercrime networks. But if you think the Hermit Kingdom's cyber chaos is wild, wait until you hear about the American spy agency that gave LSD to random people just to see what would happen. Coming in at number 5 is the CIA. Yes, the dark old CIA made the list. This American spy agency once gave LSD to random people without telling them, just to see if they could control their minds. And when I say random people, I mean they literally drugged bartenders, prostitutes, and regular Americans who had no idea they were being used as human lab rats. This insane program was called MK-Ultra, and it ran from the 1950s to the 1970s. CIA scientists would slip LSD into people's drinks at bars, brothels, and even mental hospitals. We're talking about a secret program so classified that most CIA agents didn't even know it existed. Here's what's absolutely crazy about the CIA's power. They have an $80 billion annual budget. That's more money than most countries spend on their entire military. With that kind of money, they can literally make people disappear or topple entire governments without leaving a trace. During the Cold War, they ran Operation Mockingbird, where they secretly recruited American journalists and major news outlets to spread whatever story they wanted. We're talking about reporters at the New York Times and Washington Post, who were actually CIA agents. They could literally control what millions of Americans believed just by planting fake stories. They've also been involved in overthrowing governments across the world for decades. Iran in 1953, Guatemala in 1954, Chile in 1973. These guys don't just gather intelligence, They literally reshape entire countries when it serves American interests. The next intelligence agency on our list is the Iranian Ministry of Intelligence and Security. This intelligence agency orchestrated one of the deadliest terrorist attacks in South American history, then spent 30 years playing hide-and-seek with international law enforcement. And they're still winning. In 1994, their agents blew up a Jewish community center in Buenos Aires, Argentina, killing 85 innocent people and injuring 300 more. They used a suicide bomber driving a van packed with 600 pounds of explosives, and then covered their tracks so well that Argentina still has active arrest warrants for Iranian officials 3 decades later. But that's just one piece of their global assassination network. Iranian spies have killed dozens of dissidents worldwide, using everything from car bombs in Europe to hiring Bangladeshi hitmen in the Netherlands. They've turned political murder into a globe-spanning operation where no Iranian exile is safe. Here's what makes them absolutely terrifying. They don't just kill people, they control entire armies. Iranian intelligence coordinates Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and dozens of Shia militias across the Middle East. We're talking about a single intelligence agency that can start wars in multiple countries simultaneously, without using a single Iranian soldier. The craziest part? They're doing all this while under the heaviest economic sanctions in history. But if you think Iran's global assassination network is impressive, wait until you meet the spy agency that's been perfecting the art of poison murders for over 70 years. Coming in at number 3 is the Russian Intelligence Agency. These guys once recruited 5 British intelligence officers who passed secrets for decades, including one who nearly became the head of MI6 while secretly working for Moscow. Crazy, right? Yes, Kim Philby, one of their spies, was literally being considered to run Britain's entire intelligence service at some point. When he finally escaped to Moscow in 1963, it nearly destroyed British intelligence forever. But here's where Russian spies get absolutely insane. They've spent decades perfecting creative ways to murder people. They literally killed a Bulgarian man on a London bridge using a fake umbrella that shot poison. The umbrella looked normal, but it was actually a hidden weapon that fired a tiny poisoned ball into the guy's leg. He must have thought someone just accidentally bumped into him with an umbrella, but he was actually being murdered. Now get ready to meet the intelligence agency that inspired James Bond and helped win World War II, the MI6. Did you know that the real James Bond was actually based on agents from this British spy agency? Oh yes, and the crazy part is that the real operations were even more insane than anything Hollywood ever imagined. Ian Fleming, the guy who created 007, actually worked in British naval intelligence during World War II and based James Bond on real agents he knew, including a Yugoslav playboy named Dusko Popov, who lived the exact lifestyle you see in the movies. We're talking about a real spy who gambled in Monte Carlo, seduced enemy agents, and once convinced the Germans he was working for them while actually feeding them fake information for the British. But here's what really makes MI6 legendary. They figured out how to break the secret Nazi code during World War II, which helped end the war 2 to 4 years earlier and saved millions of lives. While the Nazis thought their communications were completely secure, British codebreakers were reading every single message Hitler's generals sent to each other. Finally, at number 1, we have the Chinese Ministry of State Security. This China spy agency is possibly running the largest theft operation in human history, stealing an estimated $400 to $600 billion worth of American intellectual property every single year. That's more money than most countries' entire economies. Here's how absolutely crazy their operations are. They run something called the 1,000 Talents program, where they recruit Western scientists and academics to steal cutting-edge research. But the twisted part? Many of these professors and researchers don't even realize they're intelligence assets. They think they're just doing academic collaboration, while secretly handing over America's most valuable technology secrets to Beijing. In case you didn't know, these guys created a surveillance system that monitors 1.4 billion Chinese citizens using AI and facial recognition technology. This isn't just watching people, this is tracking every purchase, every movement, every social interaction of every person in the country. Their social credit system means that if the government doesn't like your behavior, they can possibly stop you from buying plane tickets, getting loans, or even booking hotel rooms, literally turning your life into a living hell. And with that, we've come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and check out the channel for more videos.